came to join us today, guys. Mr. Twister. Oliver Twist. Oh my goodness, this is a very special moment.
Maybe he has, but
not
very
often.
rarely.
It doesn't happen often. Does not happen often. Welcome, everyone to Back in the Closet with these two crazy cat ladies. We are welcomed by our Mr. Twister and my barefoot. Hey guys, I see everybody jumping on. Welcome. I think
Happy Sunday.
so. In between, we just had a Facebook
Lisa.
Live. In our VIP group, our special VIP group, just our VIPs, membership group. Really love them. If you guys are not a VIP, you need to.
You guys are so good for my soul. I see so many.
You're
so right
so good.
I love you.
And so we were a little bit tired and a little bit just doing our thing, but nothing super exciting. How do I change this right here? That's what I want to do. Bam. All right. I don't know if that changes it. I don't think that changes anything from what they see, but it definitely helps on my end.
Adorable, Madison?
Isn't Oliver Twist so
Hey,
precious?
Cindy. Ooh, we got your voicemail. We'll call you back tomorrow.
Yes, I will call you back first thing tomorrow. Have it on my list already. Anna, we're grateful for you. So happy Thanksgiving, happy Hanukkah, happy all the great things, happy into the Christmas season. We were just kind of feeling like our Christmas tree. We had a debacle today trying to set up our Christmas tree. We've had a few debacles over the weekend. So we were just kind of down, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make some food. So I made some spaghetti. I whipped it up real fast, and now the house is smelling good, and got the music playing.
She made the sauce.
I made the sauce. I didn't make the noodles yet. I made the sauce.
Hi, Jack.
So we decided that our topic of today, because that has nothing to do with one another. But
we decided to start the podcast if we're going to start.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's like you didn't see it in the description, but
right.
Yes. So
Letitia,
we're going to start a podcast, and we would love it if you guys would stick around and join us and let us know your thoughts.
We know you're just here for Twister, but still.
Yeah. Well, he is the most gorgeous cat on the planet.
I love you. I love you.
Literally the most gorgeous and the sweetest man in the entire world.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do a podcast.
Catherine's here. Love you.
Welcome to episode number 0096 of Back in the Closet with the two crazy cat ladies. No, it's
good thing you're counting.
I know. We are we're excited. So today is the day that we're recording this is Hanukkah, the beginning of Hanukkah 2021. And it is also Black Friday weekend. Tomorrow's Cyber Monday. Then it's also get into the Christmas spirit season, which I'm very excited about because it's the most wonderful time of the year. Sorry, Marilyn, if you're here. Anyway, so this is all good things. However,
these are all good things because it's multiple things.
Grammar correction. I should probably shut off the music.
Can you guys
our live? So we're streaming this live too on Facebook and
Jen is here. Said Oliver is her fave.
Yes,
I know he looks like he could be Carl's brother, right?
So we've got our Oliver Twist, our oldest man here.
I'm giving him a hug for Madison.
I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit. I know it's actually going on downstairs, but
I can hear it, so you guys might be able to hear it too.
Yeah, and you know how Facebook and probably YouTube too will shut you down if they hear music in the background and they'll say copyrighted. This is copyright infringement.
Right, we don't want to do that.
Because you have some music playing in the background, so we're not going to.
You guys, so for our VIPs and anyone who's been following us, you know how excited we were today to do an interview with the one and only Dr. Katie Woodley about prescription diets. We've been talking about it for a long time. It was such a big deal. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, we have had to postpone that amazing live.
Yes,
with her.
She's a little down for the illness, so lift your prayers, lift your thoughts,
send her some
lift
good
your
vibes.
positive. Yeah, good vibes.
She's just got all the way.
And the illness. But she's under the weather,
right?
And so and guys, this is a very, very important live, so we're postponing it. So if you guys are listening and missed it. If you guys are listening on the podcast only, still December 12th, 2021 at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we will be we will be having this amazing live explaining all things prescription diets for your cats and your dogs. The same.
Remark your calendars.
Yeah,
but the
remark your
reason
calendars.
that I think it kind of still inspired today's podcast, because we were thinking, well, we're going to have this amazing interview with Dr. Katie. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to learn. And yes, we can't talk about the stuff that we haven't learned yet. However,
well, we pretty much, I mean, I don't know. We're excited to learn new things to be able to
but there are a lot of things that we have learned already about prescription diets that it is one of the most important topics, I think, that help us understand how important it is to do our own
research. And yet at the same time, it's such a controversial topic,
right?
Because it's like there are two different worlds of do your own research and just listen to me. There's like the world that we all know that we live in right now, where it's like follow the science, and then it's like, well, here's the science, and you've got like everybody following science, right? And and then there was this big like takedown on social media, apparently all over, where it's like people were making fun of people for doing their own research.
Like gravestones
And
that said, I did my own research.
My best friend sent me a meme, and he was like, you're not acting like that's funny at all. I think that's funny, talking about how like, oh, do your own research or we're going to replace, I don't know, something. And I was like, dude, I live in the world of spreading the news that people need to do their own research, not take anyone at face value. Don't just because you hear it from your doctor, just because you hear it from your vet, just because you hear it from your friend, just because you hear it on the news. This does not mean that you should just blindly follow whatever advice they give. And this is where we as cat advocates come into a lot of I don't know what the word is, but where we get like hit by a wall, where it's like, okay, well, I get that your vet said that you should be doing this.
It's difficult because you do butt heads a little bit, but I think that it's really important. We went through this with Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this when he was diagnosed with early stage kidney disease, and we loved our vet so much. We loved her so much. And this was years ago, but we didn't really know how to handle it when she said we had to leave with a prescription kibble diet, that Scotch needed to be on a prescription kibble diet. That was 7 years before he ultimately passed.
And when we said no, it was like, well, you could do the prescription wet food too. And we were still like, you know what, I'm going to pass on that. Like, just going to pass on it for now. I'm going to do my own research. And so we did. And we already knew we were lucky enough to have already been in the industry for so long, in the pet health industry, where you look at things like nutrition, and you look at diet, and you look at, things beyond just what the maybe veterinarian even says, what the medical field even just says. And we look at the other avenues. We're in holistic care, right? That means we're looking at the whole, get down to the issue, not just treat symptoms. And so we were blessed enough to already know what prescription diets were. And I say that in quotations, prescription diets, because it is just a trademark term, and you can look that up, do your own research, just go to trademark search. And it'll Google it, because I don't know what the actual website is, but I look up trademarks all the time, because we're coming out with new products, and we're doing all kinds of, actually wait for 2022, because we've got a lot of awesome stuff coming. But I'm doing trademark searches all the time, and you can look up prescription diet, and you can see that it is indeed a trademark term, which means that it's being used for marketing. It's not something that is medically necessary. It is not something that is medically right.
There's not a prescription in it. Now, do we have to get it from our vets? Yeah. And I think that's the issue. Is I remember that day so vividly. Thank God Jay was at the vet with me, because I would have bought it, even though I knew we weren't probably going to feed it. There was that feeling of, I have to do this because this vet that I love so much is telling me this is what we need to do for my soul kitty that I love so much. And maybe we just do it for a little while. I don't know. There's all these things that are going through your head. I think that all to say that with Dr. Katie Woodley's interview coming up on the 12th, 12/12, remark your calendars, really diving
December 2021.
Really diving into this specific issue, because I know how scary this can be. I think that it is one of the biggest catalysts for doing our own research. And I think there was a comment I saw here just a second ago, and I want to read it because I think it's so wise. Jenny said, every being is an individual. Every being should be treated as such. What works for one may not work for others. And I think
Exactly.
that is what is so important. So when we see things that are just blanket
Everybody
cures
needs
for
to
everybody,
do this.
this is
Yes.
what you need for this. It really should kind of throw up the red flags a little bit. And you need to be looking at what is it that's going to work for my cat, or dare I say, what is going to work for me. So I think that that's a really valuable thing, and it's an empowering thing. I think Dr. Katie does such a great job of helping us as a community of pet parents feel more empowered. She does such a great job of explaining really complicated and scary things in a way that makes it digestible to us, that we can really
in a common sense manner, right? Like Dr.
Right.
Karen Becker says, I practice common sense medicine. She is the most followed veterinarian in the world. She says, I practice common sense medicine. Sure, your science that's funded by Nestle, Colgate, funded
General
by
Mills.
Mars, like if you look at the science, look who funded that science, and then you'll see that you can basically find science on anything that you want to hear, right?
Well, I'm really encouraged to see that there's a lot of new science coming out about
there's
fresh
so
food.
much.
But
There's so much, but you have to look at that.
Millions and millions of dollars go into research studies. Somebody has to fund those research studies. I think that that's a pivotal thing. So I think when it comes to doing our own research, for us, we have multiple sources that we kind of counter check against when there's something that we need to make a decision on. We have multiple sources that we really look at, and they are trusted sources. I think that's so important, especially when
let me say this, because our trusted sources may not be your trusted sources. Right. So do your own research. Don't just listen to us blanketly, just don't just blindly follow everything that we say. Do your own research. Look into what would work for your cats. When it comes to the advice that we're giving advice that we have learned in our journey that we want to share with other cat parents so they can help their cats live longer, healthier, happier lives. That is what our goal is. That is not to say that if you don't follow our advice that you're wrong, because you're not. We're just giving you another perspective,
our perspective, our experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's something,
and honestly, that's what the media is, right? It's just somebody's perspective. This is what somebody is saying. This is somebody else's opinion. There is no, not in America, at least. There are other places where facts are actually
it's still
shared.
Freely.
But that's, it's not here, and it's not and I'm not talking about just like the news. I'm talking about social media too, like the blogs that come out, all the stuff and things. Like it can be very difficult and you also need to listen to your gut and listen to your common sense, right? If you're saying, okay, listen, if I'm looking at the diet, for instance, with Scotch, I'm looking at the diet that they're recommending. I'm saying, okay, I'm doing my research and I know what an older cat needs in his diet, right? To thrive and to continue to live a long, healthy life. We know what he doesn't need as far as, kidney issues. And I look at this diet and it is very, very low in protein. And from the research I have been doing, I know that cats are obligate carnivores, and that if they do not get a high protein diet, that they will disintegrate, I guess is what degenerate. What is the word? If cats are not getting the protein they need.
Yeah. Is it degenerate?
What is it called when you start to get older and you start to break down? They're gonna break down a lot faster. They're not going to be thriving. So
atrophy. That's a good word.
There you go. Yeah. Atrophy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, no, what can we do instead to lower the phosphorus, but not lower the protein? What can we do to build the quality protein in his diet and protect those kidneys? And there's so much more that can be done. Right. And we stopped it. He lived until he was almost 1 month away from 22 years old, and did not die of my love high. Did not die of kidney
when we start to decline.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Yes, thank you, Jane.
Well, I think that's important though, because as you guys know, or maybe but we were contacted multiple times on a regular basis daily with people that are going through really, a lot of them are very heartbreaking situations, and maybe it's something that they have been through over and over again, and they're kind of turning to us as a last resort. And I think it's so important, so just to say it again, that like Jenny said, what works for someone or some cat may not work for someone else or another cat. But I
Right.
think it's so important when we respond, when we try to help, it's, this is what we did in this situation.
Yeah.
Here's what worked for us. And then we try to share other resources
Yeah.
that may be helpful for them as
we
well.
share the stuff with you,
The stuff that
the
we-
stuff that you
where
guys
we learned
show
and
us,
how we learned it.
You
Yeah.
guys say, hey, well, this is what I did for my cat with A, B, or C, and it really helped. And so it's
Right.
like, okay, so this is what we did, but then this is what so and so, like somebody else did. So you can like, and here are some articles, and here is some science, and here is some, research, and here's are the things that
Yeah.
you can, some things that you can look into
And I
to
understand.
best make the decision for yourself and your cats.
Well, and I understand that is, I will fully admit here today in front of everyone
Uh-oh, here we go.
that I am easily overwhelmed by research. You start looking stuff up, and I just want to say, you start looking stuff up. It's like, well, is this or that good for my cat? And the first, I'm telling you, Hill Science Diet pops up for any question that you have about your cat. Go try it real quick. Not right now. Wait till after the podcast. It's like, are poinsettias bad for my cat? Hill Science Diet, great. But you start asking like nutritional questions, they've got it covered, and it's usually an ad, which I think is incredible. But I will say, I myself will admit that I'm easily overwhelmed by research.
And what do you do when you're overwhelmed?
I got to start like taking notes. I got to like figure out like, what am I really looking, because it's not like you find a specific answer for the specific question that you have. You're going through page after page after page of stuff that may be a little more peripheral. So then it's like, oh, now I have to go back. What did this source say about that? And how could that, whatever. And so I understand that at times it can be overwhelming. When you are on a mission though, when you have to make a decision in the best interest of your cat,
you follow your gut,
you
you follow your
your
common sense,
intuition,
and you follow that research.
and you do the research to the best of your ability, and then you pull the trigger in that time frame that you have, and you just pray that it's the right decision. Now, we've been very blessed, I think, that
we have a lot of resources.
we have a lot of resources, and I think that we are certainly starting to make obviously better decisions for our cats. You have been a great resource for me in the patience aspect of, if I'm looking for something and I'm like, I just really don't get this, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have, so you will have like additional resources. And I think that that's really important to have. I think that's what's so great about this community too.
It reminds me of back in the day. This is so off topic. I mean, it's not off topic at all, but kind of, but it reminds me of back in the day when, because you used to do this, you're the one that taught me this, but back in the day, how like election season, right? Like, and I'm talking Hilverston Day. So it was like when we lived like, so
like
15
16 years ago.
Yeah. And it was like election season. I don't even remember who was running, whatever, but it was like, okay. And we used to turn on the news. This was years before, and 2013 is actually my final point. At 2013, I
You're
realized,
like, shut it up.
at 2013, I realized that everything I was being lied to completely by the media. So I stopped. But we used to turn on the news, and for political season, and we would go, and Adrian would go from like CNN to ABC to MSNBC to Fox News to an off whatever
BBC.
channel, like
Go check out foreign news
and
about
we would like literally we would watch like 5 minutes of
Sky
one
News.
little piece, switch to the other,
Same exact
watch it.
story,
Same
many
story,
different narratives.
so many different narratives.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch, but it is not that different. And I think something that we can do as a community that now helps better inform my decisions is follow the money. Follow the money. I'm just going to say, follow the money. When we're looking at a prescription diets, when we're looking at so many things,
and not
in the pet
even
food
just
industry.
prescription diets, like
No,
literally like anything. If you're looking at a hairball formula,
right?
That's
if the
not a
person,
prescription
if
diet.
the
It's
person
just
telling you that this is the only decision that you can make, and here's why it makes sense, and you're an idiot if you don't make this decision, find out who's paying them.
Yeah.
Who's paying them? It's literally that easy. When people come to us with the most obscure foods I'd never heard of, it doesn't take long for me to do my own
Or
research.
medicines, for
Like
that
look
matter.
up who owns this food and look up recalls on this food and look up news
Who
stories
owns
on
this
this
clinic? Who
Right.
owns this clinic? Okay,
food. Banfields are everywhere. We've been to Banfield clinics.
Mars
Who
owns
all
Mars
of
owns all
them?
of Banfield. They own all of VAC or VCAs or whatnot too. Like literally follow the money. I like that. Like follow the money and see. Well, regardless, and not just food, medicines too.
No.
When it comes to, okay, your cat has this, you need to take this, and we're going to give them antibiotics and steroids, basically, right? Like you take your cat in for
And it
almost
becomes a
anything
very
if you're going to,
cyclical thing.
especially if you're going to one of the clinics that are owned by the bigger pet food industry, unfortunately, or candy bar companies. They have a protocol they have to take, and those are the answers that they can give you. Unfortunately, many of them are kind of stuck there. They want to do more, but they lose their license, they lose their job if they don't follow protocol.
What's
right?
fascinating and illuminating,
Same
I
in
think,
the
in a
human
lot of
world.
ways is that you have a lot of these private clinics that were bought by Banfield, right? And then you have the veterinarians who are then fired
for not
for
following.
not following Banfield's protocols. And those protocols, I think, are really illuminating in so many ways. And I think that anytime, and so many people reach out to us with the I'm scared of, it is a fear. It's like a fear tactic of, if I don't do this, my cat will die. Now, they've been going to that vet for 3 years, and every 4 months we have a new round of antibiotics and their steroid shot, and we're still not getting to the root of the issue.
And
but
many
now
of
they're
them
freaking
even-
out if they even tell their vet they're thinking of maybe adding fresh food into the diet or doing something like that. It's like, you're going to kill your cat. When you recognize that there's a lot of truth to find in doing your own research, that it is empowering and it's comforting and it's illuminating when you realize you don't just have to listen to one person telling you, or the whole clinic in some cases telling you this is what you have to do. Follow your intuition, do your own research, look at the facts, follow the money, make your own decision based on what it is that you are able to
follow your gut.
find.
Follow your common sense too.
Yeah.
Like it's
And-
like, this is, if something in you says, I don't think this is going to be good for me, or I don't think this is going to be good for my cat, or eek, not sure if they're giving me the right advice, then stop, do your own research and figure out if that is the right decision
Right.
for your cat.
And I think that there are
Or
so
yourself.
many more resources now available. You know, when we started Two Crazy Cat Ladies, there was not a lot of information out there. There were not a lot of integrative or holistic veterinarians out there that were actually sharing information freely. That was
Easy to find. Mhm.
right? I mean, I think back to Dr. Lisa Pearson's page. I love her so much, but that was like, I spent days on catinfo.org, days, and it is one
Love it.
long page website
And
that
it's
you can
great.
search, and it's
information.
right. It's great information, and you'll find that was information I think that she put up probably 15 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And
was
it
a
still has so much relevance today, especially when you're looking at some of these integrative veterinarians, most of which were conventional veterinarians that felt that they could not continue. Dr. John Robb, why am I being Dr. John Robb with Save the, what is the
Protect the Pets.
ProtectThePets.org,
And the
about over vaccinating our cats, especially particularly with the rabies vaccine, when one shot can often give a lifetime immunity. Why are we doing this every year or 3 years? And what are these side effects? And we see so many of these side effects. He was like, why am I being forced to kill my clients? Why?
Yep.
Start asking the questions. And I think that there's so many amazing resources out there that you can just kind of take on your own, do your own
research.
Find multiple sources, follow the money, see where this is coming from. What is the motivation for this person?
What resonates best with you? If there is something that resonates best with you, even if it goes against what everybody else is saying, if it goes against what your veterinarian is saying, what your doctors are saying, what your friends are saying, if it goes against what your group on Facebook is saying, then follow your gut.
Not our group. Our group is very helpful.
No, but I mean, literally, at some point, somebody could say something that other people don't agree with. I mean, it happens.
But at least in our group, there's a diplomatic conversation about it, I think, or has been for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I just haven't found that in any other group.
Right. A lot of right.
Or it used to. I haven't been in any groups in a long time.
People feel very empowered behind it.
Yeah, everybody has the right answer.
Keyboard, right.
But I mean, that's just human nature. It's humans behind each keyboard.
Right. But at the end of the day, we're responsible for the decisions that we make for our cats. We're responsible for the decisions that we make for ourselves. And it is really an exciting thing. I get that it can be overwhelming, but I feel like, Dr. Karen Becker talks about being proactive. Go ahead, say it.
No, go ahead.
About being proactive. And I think this is one of the things that is really empowering to us. It's like, well, I don't need to make a decision about A, B, or C right now. My cat doesn't have A, B, or C right now, or I don't have A, B, or C right now.
Yeah.
So I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to even have an opinion about it. If we start doing the research before there's a crisis, it is far more empowering and settling. There's not the level of stress and fear that there is when bam, like I've got to figure out what to do about this in the next 48 hours because we need to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think that it's really exciting where I understand that I'm easily overwhelmed. It's really exciting that, oh my goodness, I've got 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Yesterday, my entire day was taken up by things that turned out to be a little more empowering, but I've got this time that I can do this. I'm going to do it now before there's a crisis where I'm emotionally ramped, where I am afraid, where I am kind of freaked out about a situation. What did you, Pinky?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was going to say my computer here that's recording this podcast is telling me I'm almost out of space. So we're going to wrap up the podcast, but I did want to end with basically what you just said, but never feel belittled by doing your own research. Feel empowered by doing your own research, because that is where we can come to better decisions for our pets, for ourselves, for our entire families, if we do our own research. So don't let anybody on social media tell you you're dumb for doing your own research. Don't let your veterinarian, don't let your doctors, don't let anybody tell you that you are not doing yourself justice or your cat's justice by doing your own research. So that's going to wrap up this very vague episode of Two Crazy Cat Ladies. Back in the Closet, episode number 0096. We love you guys so much.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
And thank you guys so much for hanging out. We will see you very soon. I just shut it off. So we are going to be live in about an hour. I don't know what time it is because you're
about an hour.
In an hour. Back here on just Facebook, not YouTube, for our cat tip review. We had some cool cat tips this week, guys, and we have really exciting news and cool stuff for your cats. So come join us this evening in about an hour. Back on Facebook if you're available, and we will see you guys soon.
Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday.
Mwah. Love you guys.